Hello and welcome to Startup Champions 2.0, the show where you meet and learn from National Startup Award winning founders. In the episode today, you will meet two startup champions from the food processing industry. They are Audi Unwraps and Arboreal. Have you ever experienced pickle going sour or black when you wrap it in the wrapping foil? Or have you experienced your food not warm enough or your ordinary wrap sticking to the oil in the food and then you keep peeling off all the wrap away from your food? Can these wraps be harmful to your body? You know, what exactly are we wrapping our food in is a very important question. Our startup champion has innovated the food wrap forever. They have made it friendly for your food and your body too. Let's see the Audi wrap story now.
This product जो Audi Unwraps है, which is a food wrapping paper, it started as a replacement of the aluminum foil. सबसे important चीज़ कि खाने के साथ जैसे एल्यूमिनियम गरम हाई टेम्परेचर पे या कोई एसिडिक नेचर का फूड जब एल्यूमिनियम के साथ संपर्क में आता है तो वो रिएक्शन करके आपस में एल्यूमिनियम के कुछ महीन पार्टिकल्स फूड के अंदर लीच कर जाते हैं. तो हमारा जो ये फूड रैपिंग सोल्यूशन होना चाहिए था वो इस टाइप का होना चाहिए था कि वो खाने के साथ रिएक्ट ना करे, एज इन जो ऑयल्स हैं वो बाहर लीक ना करें, रीहीटेबल हो और नॉन स्टिकी हो. तो ये सारे जो फीचर्स थे ये हमने उस प्रोडक्ट में डाले और ये प्रोडक्ट में जब हमने डाले तो दिस केम आउट एज अ पेपर, एज अ मीडियम, एज अ सोल्यूशन which was very much acceptable in a kitchen. We are doing it beautifully well. At 10% of carbon emission compared to a aluminum foil, we are operating this, which clearly means that हमारा जो targeted goal है around 20 lakh families पहुंचने का, वहाँ तक जब हम पहुंच जाएंगे तो we would be saving minimum 100,000 tons of carbon emission every year if 20 lakh families are using this product.
So Atul and Manish, welcome to Startup Champions 2.0.
Thank you, Paritosh.
So let's begin with the first and the most important question. What is Audi Wrap? How is it so very different from all the existing wraps that are there in the market?
So, first of all, it is Audi Unwraps.
Sure.
We call it the long way, Audi Unwraps. Uni means the universal and wraps means it'll wrap. It's a very interesting story behind this. Atul went on a family picnic and he saw that there was an aluminum foil that had wrapped the pickles and the paranthas that we usually pack.
Sure.
And he saw that during the peak of the summers, the pickle had kind of made very, very small holes and blackened the aluminum foil a bit. That got him thinking. And he said that why not, if this is not looking good for the health, he went back, he did some research, he realized that aluminum foil at high temperatures with food and spicy food, especially the ones we consume in India, it's not very good. So then he researched further as to what all other alternatives that we can give or we already have. So there were alternatives like the butter paper or the cloth wraps, but they were not very good. So he, being from the paper industry, he researched, and all of us know that whenever a mother is cooking a food and packing it for her child or maybe her husband, she's doing it with a lot of love and she doesn't want the food to affect in a wrong way.
Of course.
Yeah. So with this Unwraps, we have done away with all the problems the conventional aluminum wrap or a butter paper or a roti wrap or a cloth wrap would have, which is that there is no migration, first of all. This is the safety aspect of it. No migration at all from food to this or this to food at all. And in the convenience aspect of it, we have things like there is no leakage of oils, that kind of a thing, and reheatability is there. It can the food in this can be put into the griller oven or the conventional oven to reheat it.
Okay.
And yes, this is what Audi Unwraps is doing.
Very interesting. So why don't you actually show us the Audi Unwraps? How does it look? This is just a box.
Yeah, this is just a box. It's a roll of paper-based Audi Unwraps, and just hear the crunch. So
Nice.
This is it, and this is something that can be used to wrap the roti or the sandwiches, whatever you are taking home.
Experience
Yes, please.
this?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just paper.
Oh, it is a paper made after a lot of research.
I'm
we
sure.
have added some properties to give you all these things: reheatability, non-stickiness, the grease-proofness, the oven-safe, and of course eco-friendly, because it disintegrates in soil in just about 90 days. compared to aluminum foil or the plastic wraps, which take about 500 to 1000 years.
Wow, phenomenal. So congratulations on creating such a phenomenal innovation. My second question to the both of you is, one, of course, you've already explained how did you find the problem, but how long did it take for you to really do all the research and come up with a product like this?
We developed this product after 2 years of long research.
Wow.
We hired our first employee in form of Piyush, who is a IIT Mumbai alumni, and he helped me in R&D of this product. And then we gradually made a foundation for the current product range.
Interesting. And how did you fund the business on day one and till now? Of course, you've expanded a lot more. Have you actually raised any external funding?
Initially, the funding was from my father.
Okay.
The seed funding was from my father. Unfortunately, we lost him during the second wave of the COVID. But since then, it has been a good journey, and we have a strategic partnership with LT Foods Limited, the makers of Dawat rice.
Okay.
So since then, we are working on our internal accruals. The profitability is good.
Fantastic. So you are solid core businessmen. This now becomes a lot more interesting. My next question, since you said strategic partnership to the both of you, is what's your distribution mechanism? Because of course this product might not just be selling online, it might be selling off the shelves as well. So what's your distribution mechanism?
जब initially हमने product को launch किया, तो we found that this category did not exist. Okay. Even in the modern trade, kirana stores, and even the marketplaces like Amazon, we did not find this existing category. So it was very challenging for us to actually get it listed over there.
I'm sure.
So then we decided that there are only two things that we need to focus: fast and wide distribution and effective marketing communication to our TG.
So just adding on to what Atul just said, we also decided that if we are giving a quality product in hands of the customer, we would not be selling it with discounts or like you see the all over discounting, because
right.
We would want the product, if it is really well, the people will buy it. That is how we thought it. And when we were approaching with that kind of a mindset to various distributors, they said, sir, it is a new product, ये नहीं चलेगा जब तक आप ऐसा नहीं करोगे, वैसा नहीं करोगे. So we said nothing doing. We will stand along with this product. We actually, me and Atul and most of our team, we were in the shops. We were actually acting like promoters, standing in front of the shops and selling it or giving the advantages of it whenever any customer used to walk by, or putting in some samples of the product whenever the home deliveries were going.
Sure.
So we did a lot of that. And as Atul mentioned, we had a strategic distributor tie-up with LT Foods that really helped us. But before that, we had made a lot of headway in keeping this product in hands of the customer. We went to schools and we had done the online thing also. The results were great, and that's why we are here, and
I'm sure
the product is doing well.
Fantastic. So you've of course explained your business model. It's actually fairly simple. People buy your product and that's how you make money. Look, millions of Indians are watching you right now on this very show. What's your message to all of them? They also want to be successful entrepreneurs like you, innovate like you. So what's your message to them?
So I would have 3 points to cover. The first is that if you really believe in your product and you believe that it is good for the public at large, this is very important. If you are actually solving a real problem, you just have to be very, very consistent and disciplined at all times. Wake up every day, and even if you had some failures the previous day, nothing to kind of feel lousy about it. Just wake up with fresh mind and approach very, very positively. Okay. The second thing is that put in a team in the first go itself, rather than waiting that okay, I'll see the rotation and then how it goes, I'll wait for the accruals, I'll wait for the funding, nothing like that. So that is the second part of it. And the third is that it is not always that we should be looking for funding. Okay. We could be looking for strategic partnerships instead of reinventing the wheel.
So Manish and Atul, thank you so much for your answers. Now is the time to understand the top 2 lessons of this session. Number 1, food processing industry has massive opportunities. You simply need to innovate the right solution like Audio Unirapps did. Number 2, distribution in one industry might not actually work the same way in a different industry. That's why you see they partnered in a strategic manner with a certain company to increase their distribution. You could do the same as well. It's time for a very short break, but don't you go anywhere. On the other side, you will meet the next startup champion. Imagine if you were to eat healthy leaves from a plant that tastes as good as sugar, but it has no negative side effects. To know what it is, meet me on the other side.
A rare and beautiful relationship. Bonding and long-lasting commitment. Unconditional love. Glimpses of their world.
Retelling the facts and dismantling the myths.
Learn more about them in our upcoming show, My Best Friend Forever. Every Sunday, 7 p.m. only on DD National.
Welcome to Startup Champions 2.0 once again. Sugar, sugar everywhere. Most of us have a big sweet tooth, but we all know how excess sugar actually harms our body. We are fundamentally consuming sugar in almost everything we eat or drink. It's like an addiction of sorts, but our Startup Champion is changing it with their innovation. Let's now see the story of Arboreal.
We started Arboreal in 2015 when me and my co-founder Manish left our jobs in Singapore and London, and we came back to India with the vision to build natural food ingredients manufacturing platform out of India. Over the last 7 years, we have been focused on just one single problem, which is natural sugar reduction. And the solution that we have come up with is a magical plant called stevia, whose leaves are extremely sweet, but they do not contain any calories. So we spent the first 3 years of our journey in just figuring out the right win-win model with farmers. We identified and developed the right variety for Indian climate and worked with Indian smallholder farmers to grow stevia on Indian soil. The next 2 years were just about developing the right organic technology to extract the sweet compounds from the stevia leaves without using any chemicals. Stevia is being used in Japan and Korea for the last 60 years. But we were surprised to learn that nobody was taking a long-term view of stevia in India, and we set out to change that. Over the last 7 years, we have successfully built a vertically integrated supply chain out of India. And in 2018, we did the first commercial scale production using homegrown stevia leaves. Today, we supply our solutions to more than 300 companies globally.
So Swati and Manish, welcome to Startup Champions 2.0.
Thank you.
I'm very, very excited to host the both of you because you've created something that could potentially change the way people consume meetha, sugar, and also make them a lot more healthy in return, right? So let's first talk about your product.
So these are basically sweets, which have zero sugar, and they sweet, they're as good, as your regular mithai. Right?
Let me just taste one of them.
Yeah,
Let me
you should.
actually see whether
Absolutely.
it genuinely tastes.
So we have two variants here. One is your
Okay.
favorite Kaju Katli, and the other is a Meva Bite, almond-based Meva Bite.
So which is the Kaju Katli?
The Kaju Katli is this.
So I'll take the Kaju Katli in fact.
Yeah, perfect.
Let me just taste it, and this doesn't have sugar.
Zero sugar, and it has only cashews and basically your sweetener blend, which is zero glycemic index, zero sugar, zero calories.
This is really, really, really good, by the way. Okay.
And this will have no impact on your blood sugar level.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is inside this then?
Right, so we are actually in the business of reducing sugar from our diet, right? And we do that using this plant called stevia. So stevia is a 100% natural sweetener that's completely safe for everyone. It's essentially the leaves of the plant that are extremely sweet, but they don't have any calories in them. So we are the first company in India that have actually built a vertically integrated supply chain of stevia, which means that we do everything from actually cultivating the plant in collaboration with smallholder farmers to extracting the sweet compounds from the leaves and then creating products like these that actually go in the market.
So Manish, this product that I'm actually having, right? You said this doesn't have any sugar. If not, what exactly does it have?
So it has basically stevia extracts, paired with natural fibers, right? You might actually be surprised that there are 30,000 plus food and beverage products globally which use stevia in some form or shape to reduce sugar. So even in India, all the high awareness brands, and the high end shelf, juices, ice creams, your chocolates, to bakery, to mithai, everything today is starting to use stevia.
Wow. And do they actually write it on their packaging that it is stevia? Because most of us wouldn't really actually understand whether this is sugar or stevia, right?
Right. So some of them do, some of them don't, and it's a completely brand's call. How do they want to position their product?
Interesting. My next question to the both of you is: how did you actually stumble upon this entire problem? This wouldn't be as obvious or normal, right?
Right, so we actually didn't have to go anywhere to find the problem because it was everywhere, right? I mean, diabetes and obesity are the epidemics of our times, unfortunately, right? And every household today has at least one diabetes patient. My mother has been a diabetic for the last 25 years. Manisha's dad has been a diabetic for the last 15 years. And we've seen their struggle with food, right? Because today if you go to a supermarket, I mean, every single thing, every single processed product on the shelf has sugar in it. Sure. Whether it's cereals, things that we even consider healthy, like juices, cereals, even they have sugar, right? So I really saw their struggle with food. But then I felt that it doesn't have to mean that you completely have to compromise on the sweet taste, right? Because nature has thankfully given us, great, healthier alternatives.
Sure.
And that's when we started working on stevia.
Interesting. How did you actually fund the business on day one, and till date, have you raised any external funding?
So before, starting Arboreal, both Swati and I, pursued, our graduation from IIT, BITS Pilani, went to London Business School, Imperial College London, and post, our masters, we actually worked in London and Singapore for 5 years. So all the money that we saved, we invested to fund, the first 18 months, of the business.
Sure.
After the first 18 months, we raised an angel round where, some of our friends and people whom we had worked with in our previous careers, they invested certain amount of money. Sure. And in 2018, we raised, our first institutional round, from a family office.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So we are both, just to add to that, we are both first generation entrepreneurs, and nobody in our, even extended family has ever done a business. So it's, all our personal savings, and I would say that all our net worth is currently in the company.
Fantastic. And that's very, very important because, of course, as founders, you got to be, your skin should be in the game, right? You got to be all in. Interesting. Now, what's your business model? How do you make money?
Right. So we are on a mission to cut sugar from our diet, right? And of course, we have our own brand, which is Magic Leaf, and these are, this is one of the products that we sell online, primarily on Amazon and our own website. But we also work with a lot of other companies and other brands, and we help them reduce sugar in their products. So currently, more than 300 brands actually use our solutions to reduce sugar in their products, and we are also, starting to export to other countries.
Interesting. So you're both a B2B as well as a B2C operation.
That's
right.
correct.
That is correct.
And Magic Leaf happens to be your own brand.
Yes. That's
And
correct.
anybody could sort of go on your website, which would be Magic Leaf something. What's the website?
It's called www.magicleafstore.com.
Store.com.
Yeah.
So people can actually go there and order the products.
Absolutely.
And they would be made of stevia.
That is correct.
Yes,
Zero sugar.
yes.
Zero sugar.
All
Interesting.
products are zero sugar.
I'm sure. So millions of Indians are actually watching you right now on the Startup Champions 2.0 show. They want to be entrepreneurs like you. A lot of them, in fact, first generation entrepreneurs themselves who want to be like that, right? What's your message to all of them?
So I would say two things, right? First is that start, with a problem, right? I see a lot of people, have an idea to start up for all the wrong reasons. And becoming rich quickly is one of them.
Sure.
So I personally feel that, if you have to basically, last in entrepreneurship or scale up in your startup, you have to be really passionate and driven about solving a problem, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have to basically figure out a problem that the market will actually pay you to solve,
Sure.
right? So that's, I think, the only reason why somebody, should start up.
Interesting. What about you?
I would say that one needs to be really patient to be an entrepreneur. I think these days, we tend to think that, a lot of businesses are becoming successful very, very fast. But I think what people need to really understand is that these people, in most cases, actually come from the industry. They have, worked in that industry and or in that, on that problem for a long period before they actually stumble on that one solution that's now working in the market.
Interesting. Fantastic lessons. On that note, the top two lessons of this session are: number one, imagine creating a healthy sugar alternative food for the entire human food chain and not just for you and me. You can actually build a $1 billion business here. And number two, information arbitrage is what unlocks wealth. Today, you knew about stevia. Imagine what you can create with this information for yourself. You could create a $1 billion business too. Dream big. Do not be your own speed breaker at all, because the world is there for you. It's time for a very, very short break. Up next will be questions from the audience and answers from our startup champions. And of course, you and I together will take step number 17 of how to start a startup. I will see you on the other side.
তুমিও ইয়াত ব্যৱসায় কৰিব পাৰা, কিন্তু তুমি ইয়াৰ নিয়মসমূহ মানিব লাগিব। বহুত অপেক্ষা কৰিলো, আমি দেখুৱাব লাগিব আমি কোন হয়।
তেতিয়া সমগ্ৰ ভাৰতে আমাৰ শক্তিৰ উমান পাব।
এই শিয়ালবোৰক মাৰিবই লাগিব আমাৰ মাতৃভূমিৰ বাবে স্বৰাজৰ বাবে হৰ হৰ মহাদেৱ
Welcome back to Startup Champions 2.0. It's now time for some extremely tough questions from you for our Startup Champions. Are you guys ready? Yes, we are. Fantastic. So please come on screen and ask your first question.
I am Samir Swara from Patna. My question is for Audit App. Are you creating more innovations for use cases like COVID-19 to keep our food safer?
I'll tell you that sometimes what happens is that you already have something in your product which kind of gets recognized a little late, especially when there are certain unique circumstances like COVID-19. So we have this very good and unique feature wherein you can reheat the food which is packed in Audi Unwraps directly into the griller oven or the conventional oven.
Okay.
What usually happens in offices is that whenever a person is taking his lunch, getting his lunch from home, he gives it to some other person to heat it.
Correct.
And generally what they would do is that they would take out a plate and they'll unwrap the food, put the food on the plate, heat, and then that person will eat it. In this case, everything is not required at all. So the person can just keep the food which is wrapped in Audi Unwraps into the oven directly and take it out himself. So no other person is touching his food. And of course, yes, another innovation in terms of the product, what we did was that because entire world was cooking from home,
Sure.
they were baking like crazy. So we had another product which is Eco Bake, which is used for baking and cooking purposes. So therein we went ahead and got some good product innovations like creating a baking paper specially designed for the air fryers and for cooking purposes. So we have that, yes. So we did innovate.
So now let's take our second question. Please come on screen and ask your question.
Hi, I'm Kanishka. I'm from New Delhi. My question is for Arboreal. How different is stevia from artificial sweeteners?
So short answer, very. So all the artificial sweeteners, like sucralose or aspartame, they are synthesized, in the labs, right? They're also not very safe, for everybody's consumption, and that's the reason why you see all these, negative disclosures on products, which use it. So they will be, not safe for children, not safe for pregnant women, not safe for phenylketonurics, and so on. When it comes to stevia safety, there are no ifs and buts. There's no negative disclosures required because it's safe for everybody, right?
And this is proven.
And this is proven, right? And proven not just by 130 plus food regulatory authorities globally, but also by the fact that 20% to 40% of the overall sweetener market in Japan and Korea for the last 40 years has been stevia based, right? So anything that needed to be discovered about stevia would already be discovered by now.
Sure.
And this is where I guess the safety of the sweetener, because stevia is 100% natural and has such a long history of such a wide scale consumption, it is very, very distinct from any other artificial sweetener. There are also other positive effects that come with the regular consumption of stevia, but they are increasingly getting clinically proven as we speak, because now the world has a lot more interest in stevia than it used to have 5 years ago.
Sure. So you are at the right place at the right time, solving the right problem.
Yes.
So both of you, congratulations on that. It's now time to learn and earn. Learning leads to earning. You know this. Let's continue our journey of learning with step number 17 of how to start a startup. Build the second layer of leadership. This is what I'm teaching you today. So build the second layer of leadership in your company. I will now give you certain steps. Follow them very carefully. Number 1, hire your second level leaders. Remember, you are still a growing company. Hire for will more than skill. A lot of people actually go in for skills and you end up spending a lot more money, and probably after a while that employee that you hire goes away because he or she finds your company too small to work with. So please ensure that you hire for will first and then skill. Hire for problem solving and passion. In small companies, in startups, in small setups, it is extremely important that whoever joins you is extremely passionate about the problem that you're solving. Number 2, train your second level leaders to be great problem solvers. In a growing company, problems arise at any time. In technology, in HR, admin, marketing, sales, finance, anywhere, the problems will start dropping on you from all levels. This is when you need people that are problem solvers. They will jump on every occasion to solve the problems that are important and that will help your company to grow faster and forward and progress a lot more. What did you learn from today's episode? Share with us. Share your feedback, make your videos and post them on social media with hashtag #StartupChampions too. In the next episode, you will meet startup champions from the education and skill development industry. Thank you for watching Startup Champions 2.0. Jai Hind.
If you look at what we provide, it's not just a tablet with content for the children or the teachers, etc., but we're actually providing physical paper that they can print and use.
You've fundamentally created and also crafted and curated learning for the generation of today.
We want to be an education experience design company. And the only way to do that is we don't need to teach kids how to play, but we need to teach them how to learn. And that's what we want to do with almost every product that we make.